What's up guys, Chris here from securitybros, back with another video, and in today's video we are reviewing and testing the new Sunba P636 V2 PTZ IP camera with auto tracking. Is it any good? Let's find out. So what we got here is another high quality security camera from Sunba, and on the outside it's the exact same camera as the Sunba Illuminati that I reviewed about 2 years ago here on my channel. However, on the inside they are two different cameras, and let me know in the comments if you would like to see a comparison between them. So the P636 V2 uses a 5 megapixel sensor and a 36 times optical zoom, which is quite impressive. Some other nice features are auto tracking, where it can classify objects into motor vehicles, non-motor vehicles and pedestrians. You can also set up a perimeter protection, which means when someone crosses the lines, the camera will start tracking, and it can also do face detection as well as count people. And I think the auto tracking worked good, especially when tracking cars. It's not perfect though. I had a few times when it was tracking people, where the camera lost the target and just went back to its home position, even though it was set on continuous tracking. But overall I would highly recommend this camera for anyone looking for a decent auto tracking camera with great image quality and an amazing 36 times optical zoom. I don't think you're gonna find a much better auto tracking camera than this for under $500. And talking about the price, this camera sells for $430 at the moment on AliExpress and on Sunba's website. And as always, it's full transparency on my channel. Sunba did send me this camera over for review. However, any opinions in this video is strictly my own based on my experiences testing this camera out. And if you're interested in buying this camera, you will find my affiliate links in the video description below with the most updated prices. The camera comes with a 5 megapixel sensor that records in 2592 by 1944 at 25 frames per second, and it uses a 4.5 to 162 mm varifocal lens. It can pan 360 degrees and tilt 90 degrees, and you can set preset points and have the camera to patrol between those preset points. However, the camera can't track and patrol at the same time. It supports up to 256GB micro SD card as well as two-way audio, so you can talk and listen through the camera. You can access the camera through an app called Guard Viewer, where you can use the PTZ controls and watch playback saved on the SD card. You should be able to connect the camera to most brands' NVRs and software since the camera supports OnVIF, and I connected the camera to OnVIF Device Manager without any problems. It also supports RTMP stream, which means you can stream directly to YouTube, for example, without using any third-party software. For night vision it uses 10 infrared lights with a distance up to 300 meters, and I think the image quality at night was decent, at least good enough for the auto tracking to work. You might not be able to identify people unless they are really close. Build quality is really good, and the camera is using an IP66 rating, which means it's weatherproof, and the camera's working temperature is -20 to 60 degrees Celsius. By the way guys, if you buy this camera you do need to update the camera with the latest firmware from Sunba's website, and I will post a link in the video description for you. And to update the camera is really easy. You just download a file and log into the web interface by typing the camera's IP address in the address bar of your browser. Default username is admin and the password is 123456. When in here, go to Setup, System, and in Maintenance you will find the software upgrade. Just upload a file and click Upgrade and wait for it to do its thing. That's it. If we go to Live View, we get the PTZ controls up here and the zoom in and out. Here we can add preset points or use the default presets. Like for example, if I call preset 100, the camera will turn on the infrared lights. If you already have set some preset points, we set up a patrol by clicking this plus icon down here. And to add a patrol we need to give it an ID and a name, then click Add. In action type we select Go to Preset, then you can adjust the speed, and in preset you select what preset points you want the camera to patrol between. And here we can set the stay time from 15 seconds up to 1800 seconds. When done we click OK. Now we can start and stop the patrol here or delete it. If we go to setup, then intelligent, we get the auto tracking and all the smart functions here. And remember, when doing any changes to the settings in here, make sure it's unchecked first, otherwise it won't save any changes you do. In here we can select what object we want the camera to track and also set the maximum and minimum size for each type we want to track. In plan we can select a schedule when we want the auto tracking to be active. If we click on tracking, we can adjust the time we want the camera to track for, or just use continuous tracking, which means it will track until it can't see the target anymore. And then we can set the zoom to auto or use the current. In line cross, the camera will trigger when an object is crossing a line. You can set what direction you want it to trigger and the sensitivity. The other settings are the same as in auto tracking. If we go into trigger actions, we can select what we want the camera to do when it's triggered. So if you want the camera to track an object when the line is crossed, we check trigger tracking. The other ones are very similar. Intrusion, for example, we can use a square instead of a line, which can be good if you want the camera to guard a certain object. The people counting and crowd density monitoring I haven't really tested, since that requires the camera to be placed in a certain way for it to work properly. Sunba do have a step-by-step video on their YouTube channel as well, explaining all the settings and how to set it up. I will just quickly show you the other settings, and if you're interested in something you can just pause the video at any time if it's too fast. Okay, let's have a look at some recordings. Here is a clip where I test the auto tracking, and all the recordings I will show you is recorded with the highest image quality at 25 frames per second and with audio turned on. Here I have the camera patrol between preset points. And here I guard the table using intrusion tracking. and some zoom in and out. Here is nighttime and I'm using preset points here to quickly move the camera around. And auto tracking at night. That's all friends for today's video. If you haven't already, hit that like button and why not subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. See you in the next video.